Hi everyone, it's April Garwood from Banana Moon Studio. I am going to review a yarn for you today, maybe one you haven't seen before. Oops, that's upside down. This is called Aereo by Cascade Yarns, and it's a kind of a different yarn. I have a skein here that I've already started using that I'm going to work from as I show this to you, but maybe you can see as you look at this that this is not your typical plied yarn. If I remember right, they sent me some information about it a while back and they said it was a nylon tube with fibers blown into it. And the label tells me that it's 47% merino wool, 31% baby alpaca, and 22% nylon. It has 240 yards and 100 grams per skein. They suggest size 9 knitting needles or a size K or 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. Hand wash cold, lay flat to dry. So you're probably not going to want to use this for children's items or anything that you're going to want to be able to throw in the washer and the dryer. It is extremely soft. It's also extremely lightweight. This is a really big skein. I'm trying to there we go. It's a really big skein, but it's really lightweight. It is just really airy. I designed a crochet shrug in this yarn, and there'll be a link to the free pattern for that in the description box. And the shrug is really lightweight. It just feels almost like you're not wearing anything because of how lightweight it is. It does leave some fuzz behind on your clothing. I personally don't see that as a big enough drawback to not use it because it is really, like I said, really lightweight, really soft, just really comfortable to have against your skin. But it's good to know if you are considering using it or wearing it that it might leave behind some fuzz on your clothing. I wonder, it's not really showing up on my black jacket. I probably have to wear it longer for it to really show up. Anyhow, I'm going to crochet a swatch and knit a swatch in this and kind of let you see what it looks like as I'm working with it. Talk to you a little bit about it, show you the swatches when they're finished so you can get an idea of what this yarn is going to look like if you work with it. So I'm going to turn the camera around and demonstrate a little bit of that. Alright, so we'll talk about crochet first. The ball band for this Cascade Aereo suggests using a size K crochet hook, and that's this one. The shrug pattern that I designed, I decided to go with a larger crochet hook, and this is a size M. The reason that I did that is that the fabric was very pleasant on the K crochet hook, but this yarn is so lightweight that it doesn't drape a lot. Usually a yarn that's more dense is going to drape more just because gravity is going to pull down on it more. And this yarn is very lightweight, and so it tends to float instead of drape. And so even though on the K crochet hook the fabric was very nice and pleasant and flexible, I decided to go with this larger crochet hook so that I could give it a little bit more drape. So I would say anything in this range is going to be good. Where's the end here? There it is. Alright, so here's my end. My slip knot. I'm just going to make a single crochet swatch. I think it's just a good basic stitch to allow us to see what it looks like and to compare it with others. It is very soft in my hands. It's really, the feel of it is very pleasant as I work with it. Okay, that's probably a decent size. I'm not going to make a real big swatch, kind of a small one, but I'm going to work my stitches in the ridges along the back of the chains, and they're a little bit hard to spot. Because of the fuzzy texture of this yarn, I wouldn't recommend it for brand new crocheters. This is going to be a little bit hard to see your stitches in. So if you are brand new at crochet, I would pick something with a more smooth, plain texture, but this will be wonderful to work with if you're confident knowing where to put your crochet hook. One nice thing about this yarn is because, excuse me, because it isn't a plied yarn, it's not going to split at all as you work with it. Some yarns that are plied, you wind up sticking your hook through the plies quite a lot, and that's not the case here. So it is very comfortable, very pleasant to work with. I've completed one row here, and you can see how it looks. I am going to finish this swatch and then come back to this video later so that you can see how a swatch looks when it's complete. So I've started my crochet swatch, and now I'm going to start my knit swatch so that I can demonstrate knitting with Cascade Aereo. One thing I can say so far is that the yarn doesn't slide just super easy as I'm casting on. But it's not too hard. It's just some yarns it's easy to cast on real fast because they slide really easily. I guess one good thing about the fact that it's a little more fuzzy and grabby is that probably your ends will stay woven in really well with this yarn. Yarns that are really slick and non-grabby, sometimes ends don't stay woven in very well, but I don't think you'll have that problem with this yarn. It is really cold and wet today in Oklahoma, so that's why I'm working on the porch today. I think I've probably cast on enough here to make a decent swatch, so I'll turn and work in stockinette stitch for a little while. Oh, my end's really long. I'm going to cut it. Okay. I always like to slip the first stitch when I work in stockinette. Well, I'm not a super speedy knitter. I'm sure if you were, you could work more quickly with this. I'm just not. So don't think that my slow pace is an indication of a problem with the yarn. That's just me. Alright, so I've finished my first row. Again, it feels really nice in my hands. It's soft, it's comfortable to work with. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off for a little while and finish up this swatch, and then when my knit swatch is done, I'll come back and show you both swatches. Hi everyone. Alright, so I have my swatches all finished, and I'm going to show you, let's see, which way does this one go? I think this way. This is my knit swatch. And of course, stockinette stitch always wants to curl. That's normal. Probably blocking this would help a lot with that, because the majority of the fiber content in this yarn is natural fiber. You should be able to block it, and it should come out pretty nice. But what I want to say most about this swatch is it feels amazing. I actually, the shrug that I made is crocheted, but this is so nice as a knit fabric. I'm gonna have to knit something in this. It's just, it's so fuzzy. It's really soft. It's nice and flexible. It's light. It's really a great swatch. I would love this as a knitting yarn. And you can see that the surface is fuzzy. You can kind of see that little halo on top. But I really think that it would be interesting to see color work in this yarn. I think that the edges of the colorwork design might not be especially sharp, but I think that it could look really pretty with colorwork. So that's an idea for me for in the future. Maybe something knit and colorwork in this yarn, and it would be gloriously delightful to wear. So that's my knit swatch. And this is my crochet swatch. I did this in a size K crochet hook. So again, you can still see that little bit of a halo on it. It's curling, as crochet swatches tend to do, but again, I think blocking would take a lot of that curl out of it. If I kind of hang this over my hand, you can see it doesn't want to flop over my hand. It doesn't drape. I still think I like this better on a bigger hook than the size K. I used I think a size M for my Ada shrug, and I like the fabric better on a larger hook like that. It makes it more flexible, more like my knit swatch was, which, let's see if this one wants to, it hangs more over my hand than this crochet swatch that just wants to stay up. So I think I like this yarn better on a bigger crochet hook than what they suggest on the yarn label. But it's a very nice fabric. It's soft. So really, I'm really happy with this yarn, and I think I like it better knit even more than I do crocheted. But anyway, so let's see. Check the description box, because there is a link to the free pattern for the Ada shrug. There is a link to my website where you can find my latest tutorials, reviews, and free patterns. And there's also a link to subscribe to my newsletter so that you can get notifications of all my latest posts in your inbox. Great news is this. I have a full skein of this yarn left from Cascade, and they graciously supplied the yarn that I used for the Ada shrug. And when you request yarn from a yarn company in order to make something, you have to just estimate how much yarn you're going to need. But you better, of course, to overestimate than underestimate, because if you underestimate, then you have to get them to send you more yarn, which is kind of rude. So anyhow, I have this full skein left over and a partial skein. So this is 100 grams, and this partial skein that I have left is 80 grams. So it's almost a full skein. And I am going to give away what I have left through my Instagram. So go find me on Instagram. My name on Instagram is Banana Moon Studio. And if you'll go find me on Instagram, I'm going to have a post on there where I'm going to give away what I have left of this yarn, so that you can have some to make something that you want. And there's going to be also a link in the description box for my Instagram, so you can find me there. So please remember to like, subscribe, share the video, and leave your comments about what yarn you'd like to see me review, because there's a lot of great yarn out there, and maybe you're hesitant to buy something until you find out a little bit more about it. If you'll leave a note in the comments, I can see if I can get a hold of some of that yarn to review for you. Thanks so much. I hope you all have a great day. Bye.